It is 12:33. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mara Mukwanda. If you've ever browsed through CCTV surveillance camera brochures with their dozens of options, products, shots, specifications, and varying prices, you may have been tempted to slap it shut and leave upgrading your security system to another day for another day. So Gerhard Smit, who is a wireless home security camera expert, is joining me on the other side of the stream to help us unpack some of the basics of CCTV surveillance cameras to consider for your home or your business. Good day, Gerhard, and thank you for joining me.
Good day, Mariam. Nice to meet you.
Likewise, thank you for making the time. Now, what camera options are available on the market at the moment?
Okay, when we look at the older technology camera systems, we have DVR systems and wired cable cameras. We mostly specialize in the newer technology where you use Wi-Fi and apps on your phone to connect with the cameras. So then you have basically the cameras are connected to the internet and you can stream your security cameras anywhere in the world where you have internet access. So that's basically the camera systems that we specialize in with the newer technology.
Mm-hmm. Right. What should we consider when looking for surveillance security cameras for our homes or businesses?
It depends on the property and where you would like to monitor, because you have cameras that's got indoor housings which cannot get wet, and then you have cameras with the outdoor housing. So depends on if you want to monitor your property inside. The cameras all mostly do motion detection, and then it sends a push notification to your app on your phone. So you have indoor, outdoor cameras, and then on the outdoor camera side, depends on the night vision range, because you have different kinds of night vision LED strengths, starting at about 10 to 15 meter night vision, and then it can go up to about 100 meter night vision. So it just depends on the distance that you would like to monitor at night, and what you would like the camera basically to do for you, because it can be either a fixed bullet camera that just points into one direction, and then you can also have cameras with a pan and tilt and zoom function, which you can then move left and right, up and down, and also zoom in and out on a specific object.
Mm-hmm. How does a wireless camera work?
Okay, wireless camera. There's two things that you get: a wireless camera and a Wi-Fi camera. Now, wireless camera will basically be something that connects to a wireless access point or a wireless NVR, which is a fixed code. So you can't really change anything on that cameras. We specialize in the Wi-Fi cameras, which is IP protocol, and that works on the internet, and that works through the apps on your phone. So a Wi-Fi camera is basically a device the same as your phone that with a Wi-Fi access. So you will access the camera will be set up on a Wi-Fi access point, and that router is normally connected to the internet. So the camera connects to the router, and then the camera is basically registered on the cloud, which will then also give you access to the camera wherever you are using data. So Wi-Fi is basically the same as you will connect with your phone to a Wi-Fi router.
All right, now I'm trying to understand how this whole thing looks, and where would you place it in your home or your business, etc. Can you please explain to us and try to make us visualize it? Like, okay, if I'm getting a Wi-Fi camera, this is where it's going to be.
Okay, let's say, for example, let's talk about my office. We have a security camera on the outside, which faces the gate. So any movement or any vehicles entering the property, the camera will basically then send a push alarm notification to the phone. We will be able to access the live stream to see what kind of vehicle or who is entering your property. And then you have indoor camera that we have, for example, inside our entry or our entrance. So customers will basically, as soon as they walk through the door, the camera will also do motion detection and send a push notification to a phone. On the other hand, most of the cameras has got a built-in NVR, so it's like a network video recorder that takes as SD card. So all the data that the camera basically detects will be recorded on the SD card, which is also accessible on your phone when you need to access the footage. Then we have, I'm talking about the outdoor camera with the outdoor housing, and then the indoor cameras, which is basically not weatherproof. So then we also have small little cameras like a spy camera. We call it spy cameras. It's a small little camera that looks through a 1mm or 2mm hole. So you can install it in a tissue box, or what most bottle stores do, they install it in a little Coke can, and that can gets placed in the bottle store, in the fridge, for example, to monitor for any theft or whatever the case may be in that bottle store. But then, as I say, it's got a small 1mm hole that the camera looks through or see through. It also connects Wi-Fi, also do recording. So there's different options depending on what you want to monitor. Do you want people to see the camera, which is like a deterrent, which is also always a good thing, but you can also have cameras that you can hide in a type of housing for your specific purpose. Like in a bedroom, you'll put it in a tissue box. In your kitchen, you'll put it in a Coke can. So that's the different options you get for the different cameras. So it just depends on what you want to use it for.
And what are the advantages and disadvantages of having a Wi-Fi camera?
The advantages of a Wi-Fi camera is everything nowadays works Wi-Fi, so it's very easy to install. There's no cabling requirements. The problem with the cable system that we normally have is the lightning, because the lightning hits your system and it's down. Where the Wi-Fi camera, basically just get a little power supply to power the camera up, or we have cameras that's got built-in batteries, or a solar panel that for outdoor cameras it's got a built-in solar panel, so you can charge the batteries. So it's basically a standalone device, and you can easily move it around on your property. So you can have it in this corner today and then the next corner tomorrow, and it will still connect to your Wi-Fi. So you don't need to replace cabling or put in new cables and stuff like that to connect. So that's the advantage of Wi-Fi.
And are there any disadvantages?
Disadvantages for Wi-Fi is your signal strength. So the standard signal strength for Wi-Fi is about 70 to 80 meters line of sight. Then the camera must basically see the router. So when you install the camera, there must be a direct line of sight to the router. And then when there's any obstacles like trees or a wall, let's say for example your router is inside your house, and then you've got your wall that's basically an obstacle, and then that will bring your distances down to about 13, 14 meters, depending on your obstacles. So that's a disadvantage of Wi-Fi, and also metal is a very bad thing for any Wi-Fi signal, because Wi-Fi, people think that Wi-Fi goes through a wall, or through an obstacle, but it actually doesn't. It bounces. So it will bounce on this wall, bounce on that wall, till it gets a gap where you can exit the property, and then you have your Wi-Fi signal outside. But metal will absorb the signal. So as soon as that signal gets basically hits any metal structure, then that signal will immediately be absorbed and it won't be bounced. And that is so it's very important to know how to install the camera. Like in South Africa, for example, we have a lot of this metal fences and this palisade fencing and stuff like that, which are all metal. So if you have a camera that needs to work through one of those obstacles, then it's sometimes difficult to get a good signal. But the best way to test your signal is basically to take your phone, connect to your Wi-Fi router where you need the camera to be connected to, and then you take that cell phone and you'll see where you want to install the camera, you put your phone there and keep it there for about 30 to 40 seconds for it to connect to to get a good signal, and then you will know if your camera will be connecting properly, because you need about 3 bars on your cell phone to be sure you've got a strong signal.
Right, Gerhard, final thoughts, how to keep your home safe. I mean, criminals are getting smarter, and we just have to be on the same level with them, or even smarter.
Yes, that's why we do the cameras, because you've got image. It's not like an alarm system where one of the sensors trigger and you don't know what triggered the sensor. Now you can actually access the footage. You can go see, okay, it's only the dog or it's an intruder, and then you can take action according to that. Footage is always recorded, so you can also always go back and check the footage. And it's very important to have a camera facing your front doors or gates or windows that is easily accessible, because they will normally try and come through the door or break open the door and stuff like that. And so the best thing is, even if you only have one camera, just protecting your front door or your back door or wherever the case may be, it's always a good thing to have a camera, so you can monitor any movement that's not supposed to be there.
Right, and before you go, what are we looking at price-wise?
Price-wise, for the indoor cameras, they're starting at about, our cameras start about 899 Rand. Then we have the outdoor cameras, which starting at 990 Rand. That's like your entry-level cameras, which will give you like a 25-meter night vision. It's got white motion sensor lights, so it detects any movement. The lights will come on, and the white lights will come on. It will do recording, and it will send a push notification to your phone immediately when there's any intrusion. So that's the entry-level cameras, and then from there on, basically your camera, the prices goes up. The longer the night vision, the better the image quality, the pan tilt functions, the zoom, motorized zoom lenses. So it just depends on the specification of on the camera. But for standard home use, standard business use, we don't want to monitor long distances just around your property. We normally talking about the 990 Rand cameras, which is very good two-way audio, and so you can even communicate with the intruder, or communicate with, let's say you have a gardener, you need to give him some instructions. You can also speak to them through the camera.
Right, and one more thing, please share your contact details for our listeners and viewers.
Okay, my contact details is, my cell phone number is 082 953 6882. And for inquiries, because of the COVID, we don't really have too many customers coming to the shop, because we only allow one customer at a time. But you can send me an email at sales@securityandcameras.co.za, and then we will be able to do a quote for you. We will also be able to send you more information, and we also do door-to-door delivery.
All right, so thank you so much for your time, Gerhard. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
All right, that was Gerhard Smit taking us through Wi-Fi, or rather safety and security, and wireless home security, Wi-Fi security, which is what they specialize in. And if you would like to get in touch with them, you can call 082 953 6882, and they'll assist you, and they'll give you the lowdown on what works for you, what works for your budget, what works for your home, what works for your Wi-Fi. And because it can be battery operated, we don't have to worry much about the load shedding business, because, it's easy for criminals to target a home or when there is load shedding, because they know, we've got an hour, we can handle our business, and we're gone. So if they don't know that you actually have a Wi-Fi and you are watching them, or rather you're sending your security company to grab them, then they're not going to see what hits them, right? So yeah, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section, and we'll get back to you regarding those. But for now, stay with us. We'll be right back.